Good evening, everyone. This is Dr. Spirit, and this is my channel. I hope all of you are enjoying my channel and the things that I put out there to nurture you. This is the spiritual channel, and everything that I do on here is to help all of my subscribers and newbies that come on this channel to elevate their spirituality. I, this is my destiny, and this is why God chose me. So, may the words of my mouth, meditation of my soul be accepted in thine own sight, O Lord, my strength and my redeemer. I plead the blood over this day. Okay, let's see here. Therefore, encourage one another and build each other up, just as in fact you are doing. 1 Thessalonians 5, verse 11. Okay, now I'm going to give you the information on this phenomenon that the European people, the plantation owners, came up with, and what, why, and when. I will try to answer this. Okay. I hope everyone is having a wonderful, wonderful Father's Day and enjoying their father. My father isn't here, but I still enjoy him, and I know he's looking out for us. He's around us, and he knows what's happening with us, and he's very proud. Okay. Forced breeding, also known as slave breeding, was a horrific practice employed in the United States, particularly in the slave stage, where slave owners systematically enslaved, forced enslaved people to have children to increase now the plantation owner wealth. This is why. Why? That's the answer to it. Okay. To increase their wealth. This was driven by the desire to increase the number of enslaved people without the cost of purchasing them and to fill labor shortages caused by the abolition of the transatlantic slave trade. Now that's the why of the aspect. Okay. The aspects that happens during this forced breeding is one, of course. You already know this. Coerced sexual relations. This included forced sexual relations between enslaved men and women or girls. They didn't care as long as they got a baby. And this increased the slave labor, and this is does increase their wealth. That's all I was thinking of. Now you got to realize they did not look at the slaves as being human. They looked at them as cattle or something like that, you know. So they didn't care how how it happened as long as they got more slaves. Well, this idea of slaves being inhuman. I don't know where it came from with them or where they got that idea just because they was a different color than them, that they was inhuman. I don't know. Okay, between uh, between enslaved men and women or girls, as well as the rape of enslaved women and girls by slave owners, overseers, and slave drivers. Number two, forced pregnancies. Enslaved women were coerced or forced into becoming pregnant, often through forced intercourse. They could not say anything or say no. That didn't matter to the slave owner. It was forced on them. Anyway, okay. The third reason is emphasis on fertility. Slave owners prioritized the fertility of enslaved women as part of their productivity. The terms breeders and childbearing women became synonymous during this period. Okay, now the next is stock men. In some instances, enslaved men were hired out just like with bulls. My father had a farm, so I know this. They was hired out to impregnate the female cow. So that owner could have another body. Okay. In some instances, enslaved men were hired out or reserved as stock men. This is disgusting. To breed with enslaved women. Okay. There was incentive by the plantation owner for the people that were involved in the breeding. Incentive, incentives such as this. Limited incentives, though very limited, were sometimes offered to enslaved women for reproducing and raising children on the plantation. Okay, what happened for this to come about? Okay, the end of Atlantic slave trade, the abolition of the Atlantic slave trade led to an increased demand for enslaved labor, prompting slave owners to resort to forced breeding to meet this demand. They were breeding. They didn't want it to stop. They didn't think they were doing anything wrong in their mind. Okay. Uh, and for as they said they were Christians, uh, really, they were hurting someone. Uh, and how could you be a Christian doing this? It wasn't, no, it wasn't right. So, okay. Economic drivers, enslaved people were viewed, as I said, as chattel assets, and the children as a source of profit. Hmm. Forced breeding was primarily an economic practice aimed at maximizing profit for slave owners. See, all of this was money for them. And slave owners, European, always looked at money as the most important thing. And it didn't matter how they got it. Long as it was their wealth was increased. You know, this was what they was thinking, and this has been passed on. It's the same way now, same way. Look at our president. The humanization of enslaved people. Forced breeding was possible due to the dehumanization, as I said, of enslaved people who were treated as property and not as individuals with rights. Racializing of black bodies. The perception of black bodies as strong and robust contributed to the exploitation of enslaved uh, people, of enslaved women's reproduction abilities, and often led to the denial of anesthesia. There's a research on this that happened back then. You can read it, just Google it. Or a denial of anesthesia during medical procedures. Okay, so okay, the history of forced breeding is a stark reminder of the brutality and inhumanity of slavery in the United States. It highlights the exploitation and violence faced by enslaved people. My ancestors, particularly the women of color, and serves as a crucial aspect of understanding the legacy of slavery. Okay, now our community, Americans, Europeans, whatever you want to call yourself, how can the Congress deny our reparations when there's so many things out there and has been appearing on YouTube and showing them the evidence that was going on back then and what has happened now? How can Congress and the senators say no? The evidence is right here. So, whatever you do to someone else, and remember this, it will come back to you. This is what you call karma. And I tell you, karma is a B. Okay? And we think that it's not going to happen to me. I have all this money, yada, yada, yada. The Lord can take that away from you. He can take away everything. And you be homeless. You don't believe in the Lord? Well, He believes in you, and He will punish you just like a father on earth if He sees you doing something wrong. So, Happy Father's Day to everyone and you all, fathers and your family. Have a blessed and happy day. And thank you all for watching and supporting me. In Jesus' name, namaste. Bye bye, everyone. Love you all. Okay, so